Hi, Debbie.
Hey, there is Mama Cat. How are you, Mama Cat? Another great show. Welcome aboard, everyone, to Animal Advocates Radio, Voices Carry for Animals, number 517 shows and counting on Podbean Podcast app. Welcome aboard, everyone, and hope you enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and good evening, and welcome aboard to Animal Advocates Radio, Voices Carry for Animals, number 517 live podcast this evening. And we're going to go and have another show. Marty is in the chat room. Hi, Marty. Press that on the right hand side, lower part. Press that and alert me you want to come on air. It's a phone icon or a mic icon. I seen it come flying through. If you could press that again, and I can get you right in the queue. Okay, you can hear the music. That's good. Okay, so yeah, just go ahead in the right hand corner, the lower right hand corner of your phone, and there's a phone icon or here we go. There we go. I got you in there, Marty. This is great.
All right.
But we did it. But anyway, welcome back there, Marty. I'm going to go over a couple things, and then we're going to get started here. And welcome back. This is awesome. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for tuning in this evening. If you're listening from the Podbean podcast web, I hope you enjoy the show. Keep spreading the word, and tell your neighbors, your friends, your family about this show, because bringing a lot of awareness out there. What's going on in the animals world, and a lot of it's not pretty at all, and we're the only hope to carry on, okay, better lives and futures. But if you would like to join us in the chat room on Podbean Podcast app, live stream, there's just a few couple steps you need to take, and you could join us. But you can go to either Google Play or the App Store if you and install it if you haven't already, and then you're going to search for Voices Carry for Animals podcast, and then follow, and then you will be one of the followers, and every Thursday you will get alerted that there's a new live cast show coming up. Just press join and you can enter the chat room. It is awesome in this chat room. And Lisa Copeland, hey, welcome aboard, Lisa. This is wonderful. And Michelle, another animal warrior sister, and Mama Cat. I got a great super team going on here. And Darla, welcome aboard. And feel free when you're in, you could download this Podbean podcast app from your phone or your laptop, your tablets, or your iPad. And you can, I believe most of them have mics on there. So if you would like to speak on air, you're more than welcome. Just try to refrain from any noises in the background, TVs, radios, conversations, and you're welcome to come on board. And then you'll see in the lower right hand corner of your screen, there's a mic icon or a phone icon. That you press that one if you want to come on air, and that alerts me to you want to come on and speak to the guest, okay? And also, you could share this show right from this chat room, everyone. I mean, to other social media. This is modern day technology at its best. Keep pressing the like. It keeps building this podcast up to get in the where it says the live link. It gets farther up in there. And I've been on a year, already a year on Podbean podcast app, already a year already, from a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to keep going strong. Okay, so please keep liking that like button. If I had one, they won't give one to me. I'll be pressing it every second. I'll be talking to the guest press. But time, you're right, Mama Cat. Time has flown by. But all these shows are recorded live and archived. Okay, so you can go back and listen and share 24/7. And if you are a follower on the Podbean podcast app, I thank all of you for being followers, and also on the web where you can get a free account. You go to podbean.com, and then you're going to press create account, or I'm sorry, log in, and you're going to go and press create account. You'll need your full name or nickname, email address, create a password, and also click the where it says I'm not a robot, and then press create account, and then you're going to search Voices Carry for Animals podcast, and you're in on the web. All these shows are all on there. Okay, so from Podbean podcast app, and also from was transferred over from Blog Talk Radio when I was on there. Went from March of 2018 up to last January of 2025. So all those are listed, and even on the app. You could go back and look at your app, kind of look at it closely. It is awesome. You can go listen to any of those shows anytime, share them, comment. Hey, the more comments and the more likes, hey, it builds this show up because there is a lot of podcast on Podbean podcast app. Okay, a lot of shows running, big names out there, and even if you look to search animals, there's other animal podcasts. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead, and Aloha just entered too, and all you guys, I appreciate all your continuous support. It takes teamwork all the way, and that's what we got to do. We got to stand together, fight together, and do what's right. But anyway, Marty Irby, how are you? This is great. I mean, it's
Great,
just
Debbie. Thank you so much
yes.
for having me on again. It's been a while, and I'm really elated to be here and talking with you, especially this week of all weeks in Congress with so much action.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at the timing on this, right? I mean, if we're going to, and everyone, we're going to be talking about the this evening's topics. It's going to be defeating the Save Our Bacon in the slash Eats Act HR 4797, and also passing the Fight Act HR 39, or what is it, 3946, anti uh, cockfighting laws. And then we're all discussing passing the Greyhound Protection Act, HR 5017. And Marty Irby, he is the president and CEO of Capital South. Okay, and I was telling him earlier today, he's been on several times when he was on, or we was on Blog Talk Radio together and did great shows. So very impressed. It's so wonderful to have you back. And I wanted to make this announcement. Marty was one of the top, or the Hill's top lobbyists 2019, 2020, 2021, 2023, 2024, and 2025. Congratulations, Marty. I love to give recognition when recognition is due, right? But
Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that, Debbie. It's taken a lot of hard work to get there.
oh yeah, it's never easy. And when it's noticed and recognized, hey, we need to put you in the spotlight, okay? Because you deserve it so much. But go ahead and what we're going to be discussing, and everyone, I have all these three bills. I'm going to, as soon as the show gets downloaded, edited, and then I'll publish it, it's going to have the links in there to all these bills. And please call your congressman, okay, and ask him. We want to, on the the Greyhound Act, pass that. We want the Fight Act, and then we want to, with the Eats Act, we want to. It's HR 4797, and Marty's going to go into more detail what that one is. Okay, Marty, we'll go right ahead. But everybody, welcome
Yeah,
to the chat room. Go ahead.
absolutely. Thank you again, Debbie. We didn't plan it this way. I think we talked about me being on the show maybe 6 weeks ago or so, and it just so happened that the Farm Bill markup in the House Agriculture Committee took place this week and ended about 1:30 or so this morning, and they went on into the night. And it's really been a challenge this Congress because the House Agriculture Committee Chairman Glenn Thompson, who's a Republican from Pennsylvania, he had historically been pretty good on animal issues, even led a anti-bear baiting bill for us, the Bear Protection Act in the past. And I'm not really sure what happened, but once he became chairman, his attitude toward animals completely changed, and he's just done a 180. So we thought he was going to be someone very great to work with, and he's turned out to be one of the worst people in Congress that we've had in that position. And as many of you may know, the Farm Bill only comes up every 5 years for a reauthorization and handles a lot of agriculture issues across the board related to livestock, related to plants, other fruits and vegetables, row crops, and all that sort of thing. 81% of the Farm Bill itself is actually related to SNAP, or the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or food stamps. And most of that got done in the big, beautiful bill last year. So it's only about 19 or 20% of the Farm Bill that's actually left. It's the meat of it. And we've been working really hard. The Save Our Bacon Act in this Congress, I think it's actually 4673 is the number, Debbie, but I'll double check that for you, was formerly known as the EATS Act in the last Congress. And it's an attempt by the big industrial agriculture complex, primarily Smithfield, that is wholly controlled and owned by the Chinese, to nullify a California ballot measure known as Proposition 12 and a Massachusetts ballot measure known as Question 13 that were passed around 2016 and 2018 and have been in effect for roughly a decade now. Those two measures banned the sale of pork in California and Massachusetts from pigs that were raised in gestation crates. So, as many of you know, in a gestation crate, a pig can't turn around, they can't move, they're just stuck in one small space their entire life. It's just sheer misery, and there are all kind of consequences that go along with that beyond the animal welfare. Many people believe that there are hormones and a lot of negative energy that is basically secreted into the animal, and that leads to many health and disease problems in humans once they eat pork. And so these two states decided that they would have pork sold only if they were raised in a little bit bigger pen where they can move around, walk around, stand up, just a basic standard. Overwhelming majority, those measures passed at the ballot box by the individual voters in those states. It wasn't a state legislature. It wasn't some government issued policy. It was the will of the people in the voting box and an actual election. And so we have seen a lot of the farmers across the country shift their operations, their infrastructure and facilities to be able to comply with California and Massachusetts standards and sell pork there. And there were a lot of farmers who were really struggling because Smithfield had almost put them out of business, and they found a new market to be able to compete in. I know True Story Foods, Heritage Foods, Nyman Ranch, that's owned by Purdue, and many others have really worked hard to be able to bring quality products and to bring more a better environment and better welfare for these animals that are being raised for food. So these guys on the ag committee, Glenn Thompson and Smithfield, and some of the others in the industrial ag complex, want to nullify these state laws and put these other farmers out of business. We typically don't agree with JBS and Tyson, that are two of the other big packers, but JBS is also on our side of the issue because they've converted a majority of their systems. And we've been hearing that Tyson may be too. I haven't been able to pin that down for sure. But at the end of the day, it's about animal welfare, and it's about what consumers want and what consumers are willing to tolerate. The legislation, though, beyond those measures, is written so terribly that it applies to all meat and dairy. And Harvard did a study last fall I think it's about 500 or 600 state laws across the country that it nullifies. Seafood laws in Louisiana, for instance, where Speaker Mike Johnson and the majority leader in the House, Steve Scalise, are from. There are dairy laws across the country. They did make an exception for eggs this Congress because all of the United Egg Producers were in arms and they wanted to maintain those cage free laws. But they're trying to nullify these gestation crate bans across the country and so many animal welfare policies that people have worked on the state level, which goes against states' rights. I mean, the Constitution provides for states' rights and for states to have the ultimate authority. So it's really kind of an odd thing for these Republicans to be doing this. But this is the third farm bill I've worked on this issue. We defeated it in the last two farm bills. It was led by Steve King back then. Unfortunately, now they have some more credible members of Congress leading it. Ashley Hinson from Iowa and Joni Ernst from Iowa in the House and Senate. So they've got a little more wherewithal and political capital than Steve King had and are really pushing hard. I can't even imagine the amount of money Smithfield and the National Pork Producers Council has spent on this. But we're going to defeat this. And the legislation that was passed last night in the Farm Bill did include this language. Congressman Costa from California, who's a Democrat, tremendous animal advocate, he did speak about the issue, as did Jim McGovern, who's a tremendous advocate also from Massachusetts, Alma Adams from North Carolina, and many others. And we're very passionate about it. I think moving forward, what we're likely to see is the Farm Bill come to the House floor for a vote in the next month or two. And we're going to work to try to do an amendment on the House floor to strip out this language. So if we do get a vote on the amendment, it will pass overwhelmingly with probably most of the Democrats, if not all of them, and then the majority of Republicans as well. On the Senate side, the Senate committee, which is led by John Bozeman from Arkansas and Amy Klobuchar, who's running for governor of Minnesota, those two don't seem to have much of an appetite to put this language in there. They know it's a poison pill. They've said they don't want controversial riders. So we feel really good about the Senate and what we're doing there, and have done a lot of work in the past there as well. They've always been the stronger chamber on this issue. And at the end of the day, the Senate bill has still not been introduced. We haven't seen anything, so it's going to take a little while to get some action on that. Once those bills pass both chambers, then of course they have to reconcile the differences. They go into what they call a conference committee, and we believe that ultimately, even if it still is in the House bill, it would get taken out in the conference committee because it's not going to pass the Senate like it is with that in there. There's just no way it'll pass the Senate with so many champions that we have, like Susan Collins, who's a Republican from Maine, and Cory Booker, who's a Democrat from New Jersey, and the California senators. They've all been tremendous champions on this issue. So it's a little complicated, and it's in the weeds, but we've got tremendous allies across the board, like Moms for America, General Mike Flynn. We've got John Rich, the country music star from Big and Rich, and tons of groups in the conservative space, in the liberal space, animal groups, farm groups, especially Organization for Competitive Markets and Competitive Markets Action that I actually represent to my firm and serve on the board of. And we're going to beat this thing, but we do need you all to call your members of Congress and tell them to oppose the Save Our Bacon Act and oppose any farm bill that has that type language in there that nullifies state laws. Even if you go and look at this beyond animal welfare, beyond agriculture, what's next? When are they going to start nullifying other state laws in other areas? So we can't let this start here.
No, no, and we know we need all your voices, everyone, because it means so much, and the animals rely on this. They can't fight this, okay? So we have to do it for them, and better lives and futures for all of them. I mean, it's sad what's going on, especially with these pigs in the crates, Marty. I mean, it's they no so no kind of life whatsoever. I've seen photos of them and they're so sad. I mean, you look at how they're getting treated behind the scenes too. I mean, it's like all these animals deserve so much better. So please, everyone, if you can get out there, make those phone calls and oppose it. Get to your the nationwide number is 202-224-3121, and you give them your zip code and then ask to speak to your representative or senator during regular business hours and weekends and after hours and weekends. You could leave voicemails. Okay. You could also, if you feel more comfortable emailing your state representative or senator, you can go that route. We need it takes a village, don't it, Marty? It's not just a few people. It takes a village
Absolutely.
to get these changes made. And the more of us, hey, the stronger we become. And with these bills that's going on, I'm not, or, I have an account with Congress.gov. I'm not sure if you do or not, but that is a great website to keep up on these bills and what's going on. You get an account on Congress.gov, and then you can put the bill number, whatever it is, in the search. Get alerts in your email, and they'll keep you up. Hey, there's been two more sponsors or a change amendment in the bill. It'll keep you updated, and that's where you're getting involved with your legislation. And this is federal. This is nationwide. And Marty has been working so hard out there. Please give him all of your support and help him share on any social media out there. Share, share, share for the mama bear. And do what can help out, because like with myself in this podcast, I can't do it alone. I do my best, but I need teamwork. It is needed. Okay, and this is not the only thing that I do, because that's what it takes. If you want to see the strong victories, hey, get involved, and when they come through, you'll do the victory dance. Okay, I know I do. And so I said, okay, it doesn't stop here. Got to keep going, right, Marty? We have to keep going.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We do. It does take a village, like you said. Everybody's got to call their congressman, call their senator, go on social media, spend the time really doing what it takes, because it makes a difference. I'll tell you, I think from probably the majority of the members I've talked to on both the Democrat and Republican sides of the aisle over the years, they tell you that animal welfare issues are in the top three of all of the things they get calls and emails about. And that's compared to big things like funding the government and healthcare. So it's up there in the top three with most of
Wow.
the offices. And interestingly enough, it's not the topic of the night, but I know that the calls that they always have the most are wild horses for whatever reason. That topic always gets the most calls and emails. So it's really big.
That is inspiring and uplifting, and because the social media, whether it's Facebook or X or LinkedIn, wherever you're at, press that share, because the like doesn't serve no justice. Okay, I see so many more likes than shares. If we get that switched around, it goes into the news feeds, and then you're going to have more attention on it there than it just stays on your timeline, or hit or news feed one time. So press that share. You're not going to break your fingers or spring them, right, Marty? So you had to,
Not at
you
all.
don't need a band-aid on it. It's not that hard, okay? Just press that share, please. And in order to keep going out there, hey, two or three people might ignore it. Hey, but the next three might do something. Them active action takers, and they're out there. I see them, and I am a super team with a lot of them. So, hey, please help out, because we need all your support we can get out there, because that's what it takes. We want to see the positive changes. We don't want to see standing, idling and see nothing change for these animals. They all deserve so much better. Yep.
They
So,
do. They do. And there's so many animal welfare bills out there too. I know we want to talk about two other provisions, and then I'm sure you've got a little time for some of the calls. I failed to say
oh
hello to
yeah.
Mama Cat when we came on too. So hey, Mama Cat, it's always great to see you and talk to
There
you as
she
well.
is. Meow. She'll be calling and talking to you. That's
But
my tag team.
yes, yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep. She's
But I didn't
awesome.
know if you
She's
wanted
got a
to
heart
talk.
of gold out there. Yeah, go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, go ahead. I didn't know if you wanted to talk a little more about the other two provisions. and have some time for a call. So I just let me know when you're ready to talk about the other issues that we mentioned to folks on the front end of things.
Okay, and usually on this show, Marty, as on Blog Talk, I put an hour, but on this, we go an hour and a half or whatever. It's up to the guest and everything because we get into talking and in this chat room and bringing stuff up and get callers call in. So it's up to you if how long you want to go for. Because I put it up to 2 hours, okay, just to be safe. Not someone shut down on us. But whenever you feel, you want to go off air, totally understand, but you'll really enjoy this. I don't know if you can see the chat room or not.
I
Um,
do, yeah, I do see it. I could go to about 8 or 8:15 because I thought it was still an hour. So I apologize. I do have
okay.
something else, but I didn't realize that the extension came now with a new platform. So that's even better. I'll remember that next time.
Yes, definitely. I don't know. I thought I put it in your email that 8 to 8:30 or something. I don't. I usually do, but I could have made a mistake and didn't or something. But next time you do that, we could stay on here, up to 2 hours, and I've had 'em up to 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, I'm good till about 8:15. So about 8:15,
Okay,
I'm good.
that sounds good. We'll take the calls because I know that you know I know Mama Cat wants to talk, probably Aloha, and I hope Michelle's tuning in and out there, and that she calls in because hey, the more voices out there, hey, the better and stronger we become. Strength in numbers. And that's what it takes, because we want to talk about these other two bills also. And I don't know if I mentioned the one about the Greyhound Protection Act. In May, I'm going to have, you probably know him, Marty, from the, uh, what's his last name? Carrie Field.
Oh, Carrie and Christine. Yeah,
Um,
Carrie Field from Great 2K USA.
yes,
Yes.
he's going to be my guest on May the 7th. And that one, and feel free. I tell all my guests, hey, we are coming in, teaming up, and more the better. If you want to, you'll have the app. So that when it get alerted, feel free to call in, talk to him, or whatever. I wanted to bring that up. So, and it'll be his first time on air on Voices Carry for Animals. So I
Well,
want to
he's
welcome.
terrific. There's nobody like him and Christine, and they're married. They're a couple together. They have done more for greyhounds than any two human beings I've ever known on this planet. So you will enjoy having him on.
Oh yeah, I can. I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to it too. And I always tell them, hey, I always invite the guests back because the more exposure, the better. We're not going to let it fizzle out and go, die out or whatever. And when we get on air, and then after it's published, it goes to 28 different podcast websites, to YouTube channels. So it is getting out there. These shows, and because it's exploded. I wish I found Podbean back in 2014, but that time has passed us by. But I'm going to stay on this one. I'm very happy, and the new guests coming on, the returning guests, and it's all of you who's made Voices Carry for Animals podcast a total success. The callers, the listeners, so all 12 years in June coming up. Isn't that wonderful? 12 years already. Yep. So we're going to be rocking the animals world continuously. We're not going to give up on them, so, but Marty, if you want to bring up the Fight Act.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually working on this through Competitive Markets Action, our 501(c)(4) affiliate of the Organization for Competitive Markets. And it's basically an enhancement of the current anti-federal cockfighting laws. And farmers are backing this. The reason they're backing it is because cockfighting is a tremendous source of the spread of disease like avian influenza and Newcastle disease. I worked during the last farm bill with Animal Wellness Action to pass the PACE Act, the Parity and Animal Cruelty Enforcement Act, that banned cockfighting in the U.S. territories. And then we did many investigations where we actually got the postal records from Guam and got them from the postmaster there, traced back the shipping addresses, to states where they were shipping these birds. And then we went on Google Earth and we could see where they had the little teepees, the huts, whatever you want to call them, that they keep the birds in, and started doing investigations. Found on YouTube that many of these people's channels were bragging about cockfighting openly when it was already illegal, bragging about their birds being in what was called the Slasher Cup. And one family in my home state of Alabama, in Verbena, which is in Chilton County, the Easterling family, we ended up working with the Department of Justice, and it was one of the biggest cockfighting busts and raids in history. And a number of the family members went to jail, and I think they had some seizure of property, things like that. But one of the biggest things that we see, and this is very gruesome, so I'm just going to warn you this, but I think it really is important that I share this, and I share it in Congress, is when they put these birds in a fighting pit together, they have gaps or knives on their feet, and they strap them to their feet, and they start fighting. So they're slicing each other, and many times one
Mm.
bird will puncture the other bird's lung, and the lung will start filling up with blood.
Whoa.
They stop to pull the injured bird
Mm-mm.
out, and then they, in a mouth-to-mouth resuscitation like action, suck the blood out of the lung. Literally, the human does, and put the bird back in the fight. So, number one, it's terribly cruel. It's horrible, gruesome. One of the worst things I've ever seen, not in person but on video. And it also is just a huge risk and liability for the spread of disease like COVID or something like that can jump from animals to the human species. So, we see this in the shipment of birds. There's a tremendous risk for the spread of Newcastle avian influenza in the cockfights themselves and these type actions, the spread of various diseases and strains of diseases to the human race and species. And then we also have a tremendous number of other types of criminal activity that have taken place in relation to the cockfights. There was one woman I remember I wrote about that had actually sold her baby in the Philippines to pay off her cockfighting debt. And we've seen people who are tied into a lot of drug trafficking, many, many other types of crime that have these, sort of rings or circles of people that are working together. And it's all over the country. It's prominent in California, even though it's illegal, in Alabama, Guam. I mean, you'd be surprised at some of the places, just outside of Los Angeles where it's huge. So what we're trying to do is to upgrade that law to help the Department of Justice be able to take action against people who are betting on cockfighting online, even if the cockfights are taking place in other countries. So there's a simulcast provision that would stop that. There's also a provision that upgrades the law for the federal government if someone is convicted of one of these crimes of cockfighting to be able to seize the assets and the property of that person or those individuals. And then there's another provision that is related to civil suit. So if you have someone that has a cockfighting pit, next door to you and is devaluing your property or causing you tremendous problems because of the crime next door, you could actually take civil action against them. I have to say, in the Farm Bill last night, and it was 10 or 11 o'clock by the time they got to the debate on this, it was one of the last amendments in the committee that was offered by Congressman Danadar, a newer member of Congress. And it was really, really contentious. I was really surprised, but a lot of these ag committee members were making the argument, well, this opens the door to other livestock because it amends the Animal Welfare Act and it opens the door to the transportation of animals and that sort of thing. And it's not the case because the language is very specific, but it was very contentious. So one of the members there from Kansas, Tracy Mann, offered a second degree amendment, what they call, I'm getting a little technical here, to basically water down that law. And that ultimately is, what we're seeing in the Farm Bill. I hope that that's able to be changed. It's not good enough. It's not really much of an upgraded law, but there have been upgrades, I think, probably since the early 2000s on cockfighting in every Farm Bill. I only worked on the cockfighting issue in the last one that was signed into law back in 2018. But, my former colleague, Wayne Pacelli, he's worked on this for 30, 40 years and been one of the biggest issues he's worked on, and been able to help really stop a lot of this. But people still persist because the Department of Justice has historically not done very much about it. and it's global. I mean, it's a global thing. You'll hear people that are, minorities that talk about, oh, we want to be able to do this. It's our heritage, that sort of thing. It doesn't matter. Every walk of life, every culture, I have seen it in people from Alabama, to, like I said, to Guam, to California. So it's not something that's a tradition within just a few cultures. It's something that's very prominent around the world. And I remember writing an article, 3 or 4 years ago about Magellan. And when Magellan was sailing around the globe and first came to the kingdom of Tete, I believe is what it was called, you know, however long ago it was, 400 years ago, as when they first saw cockfighting there. And that's the first documentation globally of these type of incidents. So it's been persisting, and it probably went on long before that. But there were other gruesome things that were going on back then too, like the gladiators in Rome and the Roman Colosseum and so many other things. It went unnoticed and wasn't considered back then one of the worst of the worst. But today, I believe the majority of the people out there would say it's the most egregious and gruesome of all animal related issues and animal torture at the end of the day, what it is. So we're hoping that we get some progress made on that. It's not looking real good, honestly, but we have some great senators who are leading the bill. Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana and Cory Booker from New Jersey. Got some very unlikely allies like Senator Katie Britt from Alabama, who's not historically been involved in these issues, that's supporting the bill now. And we stand a better chance, I think, in the Senate in getting something done there. So right now, on all fronts, I think the Senate is looking much better than the House of Representatives on these issues.
The Senate is looking better. See, we got to with all the senators, reps, contact them because we are strength in numbers. The more of us that call in or email, hey, we gain strength from every angle. Your letters count, your emails, your phone calls. Be polite and professional about it. You'll get a lot farther. And encourage your family members, your sons, daughters, neighbors, coworkers to do the same. Because a lot of them, they get busy in their lifestyles and they have no clue what's going on behind the scenes. I know so many of them, and oh, I'm too busy, or I'm working too much, or this and that. But make that call because it doesn't take that long, or write that email, you know, or write a letter. It's so fast and convenient. It can't get no easier to help make changes in the comfort of your home, your phone, your computer, copier, and everything. Because the animals need us. They can't fight for themselves. They are defenseless and helpless, innocent. So we have to be there for them because what's going on out there from a lot of angles, they all need to be treated better. They're innocent. And without us, where would they be now? Right, Marty? Think about it. If it wasn't for animal advocates and hard workers like you are, I mean, strong leaders and strong supporters leads to strong victories. And that's our goal to see changes made. And it can be done. Just got to put some effort to it, some, involvement, and it's not that hard. Just do your part. It's very, I mean, when I look at it and the stuff I do, make those calls or, emails or sign petitions, whatever, it's not that, it doesn't take that much time. So every effort counts out there. Even on social media, I see stuff, hey, sign and Marty, I wanted to, if you could give your websites and everything, excuse me, to the listeners. And thank you all for tuning in. This is another great show happening. But if you could give your website out and all that, so the because you can always go back to these shows and get the information in case you come in late or you miss it. And they're always there. You listen 24/7, 365 days a year. So but go ahead, Marty. This is another great show. Love it. Welcome back. Okay, you there? Can you hear me? Did I lose you?
No, sorry, I don't know what happened. I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, for the
Okay.
for the purposes of the animal welfare issues, let me give you. the competitive markets action site. I'm also the president of Competitive Markets Action and on the board of the Organization for Competitive Markets. So it's just competitivemarketsaction.org that has all of our information about the Eats and Save Our Bacon Act. And then I would also recommend that you guys check out the Animal Wellness Foundation, which is Animal Wellness Foundation in Los Angeles, California. I still do a little work for them, and they're very involved in the cockfighting issue as well. So I'd recommend checking those out. Also, we have accounts under Competitive Markets Action and Animal Wellness Foundation on Twitter or X now, what it's called, Facebook and Instagram. So please check us out there. We really would appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, and share it too. Just check it out and share it. Get the word out there. Let them visit. It's got great. It's very informative because I've checked them all out, and I'm going to add those other ones when I edit tonight. I'm going to add those other ones. Okay, on the
Yeah,
um,
that sounds great. And you can also follow me. It's just Marty Irby, Marty on all the social media channels. I do more on Instagram than anything because I like pictures, but I've got a social media account on Facebook, Instagram, and X as well.
okay, X, and thanks to everyone for joining us in the chat room. Keep pressing that like and sharing, and share the show right to your timeline or wherever you want to put it. And it's almost quarter till, so I better, if it's okay if you take calls, because you said 8 or 8:15.
Yeah, that's good. Do you want me to
Yeah,
lightly touch on the Greyhound Protection Act really quick?
yeah, yeah. Please
Yeah.
do. Yes, yes. That's so important too.
I do want to share
Yes.
about that because that's the one positive thing that has really gotten going. So last night they passed a bipartisan amendment. Congressman Nunn from Iowa, who's a Republican, and Congressman Carbajal, who's a Democrat from California, passed it. The chairman actually let it go and said, "Vote your conscience or vote your will," instead of being so vocal against it like he has these other policies. And you might recall when I worked at Animal Wellness Action, we helped pass a Greyhound measure in Florida with now Attorney General Pam Bondi and Laura Trump and Mike Huckabee helping us that wiped out two-thirds of the Greyhound tracks in the country because two-thirds of them were in Florida. And we passed a statewide ban there that was an amendment to their constitution as a ballot measure. Subsequently, after that, the last track in Arkansas, they announced the closure. The company that owned it announced the closure of that track. During COVID, the last tracks in Iowa were shut down, and then the last track in Birmingham, Alabama, in my home state, was shut down. And now there are only two Greyhound tracks left in the country that are running dogs. They're both in West Virginia. A couple of years ago, Terry Teal and Christine Dorchek, that you're going to be talking with, really worked hard to pass a state bill. I think it was led by the state either House or Senate Majority Leader through the House and through the Senate in West Virginia and the state level. And then now Senator, but former Governor Jim Justice vetoed the bill. So that kept the tracks opening. So they're still running. So this federal law will outlaw Greyhound racing across the board in the United States and close those last two tracks. And Greyhound racing will finally come to an end in this country. So it's a huge, huge thing that it got in there. I think the Senate's going to be really good on this issue too. And I think of all the animal welfare policies in this Congress and this year and this Farm Bill that are likely to get done, that is the one that really looks like it's got the best chance.
All right. And just two more to close down. Yes. That is so inspiring and uplifting. Two more, because these greyhounds, they deserve so much better. I mean, the way they're treated, and they have no choice in the matter. They are forced to go out there and run, and behind closed door. I've seen some stuff. I know it's not here in Florida. It was a victory here when they closed them down. And there was a lot of gambling going on and stuff. But you gotta not think of profit before animals. Okay, that's a no about greed and stuff. So this two more to go. Oh, this is great. This is great news. Yep. And when I had him on this show, I think I said May 7th. Hey, we're going to be rocking the airways again, everyone, because all these animals, the voices carried for animals is for all animals in need and distress, our four-legged friends and furry friends, out there. So whatever you can do, every effort counts. And on your, especially on your timelines. I see so many likes and love and all that, and versus the shares. It's like let's get that changed around so that there's more, it attracts more action takers. Get them involved. The groups and the pages. I've seen so many of them that I go through there that I'm a member or whatever, and there's no shares on. You go as far down, and there's no shares on any of them, and that's sad. So we got to think about the animals, because who always pays the price? The animals. Okay, if there's no changes, and we're going back, year after year, decade after decade. Hey, let's fix all the animal cruelty problems in 2026. Okay, and we could all pitch in and do a lot better. And let's see them have better lives in future. Hit those victories, our goals, good positive news. There's so much negative news going on out there. We need more kindness and smiles, and just helping out. Who they always blame it on society. We are society, everyone. We are. And as we get older, we got to teach these younger generations to do the same. The kids and grandkids and all that, when they're growing up, and teach them how to treat animals with dignity and respect when they're children, and they move forward in their adulthood doing the same. I mean, look at us, Marty, what we're doing, and everyone out there, all the animal rights activists and the big animal organizations. What would it be like if none of them was doing anything? It would be 100 times worse. Okay, so you do see a lot of improvements, a lot of victories coming through. But let's see this all going. Get connected with your representatives and senators, and we're not going to play a game where we have red and blue people. Okay, because that's not happening. We the people is everyone. There's no breaking it down. So do what's right, okay? I see a lot of discrimination going on towards political parties of, ripping each other apart on social media. That's You're not getting nowhere. Zero accomplishment. Come this way and help us out with these animals and get them better lives. Name calling, bullying. No, that's not. Usually it's fighting with strangers out there, and you're not getting nowhere sitting behind a computer. The key warriors, hey, take that action and help us out. Because we're going political. Hey, you can't say, "Oh, I've heard so many times, Marty. They're not my political party." No, no, whatever it takes. You got to look at on the same wavelength. Say, we got to help them. We, the people of the United States of America, do what's right. Okay, and help these animals out, please. Because so many of them are out there. Let's get them out of harm's way from every angle. I mean, look at these greyhounds. I mean, is that needed? Is it necessary? No, it's not. When they hit Florida, no more greyhound. Oh, I was like, jump to the ceiling, because that was part of hey, taking action, and that's what it takes. But it needs a village to do that. Right, Marty? We
It
cannot give
does.
up.
It absolutely does. Everybody's going to do their part.
Yep. And put a little love in your heart and do your part, because your voice matters. Your actions matter. Okay. And that's where the key is. Not I could have, let's say, 1 million followers on this show. Now that's wishful thinking, Marty. But if 1 million people don't take action, guess what? It's like not listening to this podcast, right? Not so we want to encourage you to take action. That's why I have this podcast. Take that action, because I cannot do it alone. I wish I could, but I can't. So getting the word out there, being a great, be a great voice, encouraging people to, do what's right. Because the animals can't call up on on this podcast. They can't call the police or tell us how they feel. So please do your part, because you'll see changes happen faster. And, with these greyhounds and all this dog fighting going on, it's totally and the roosters, cockfighting. Hey, look, I mean, what you told me is like turned my stomach. there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know, and I learned from this podcast or out on social media, and it's totally unacceptable. I mean, it's like, what kind of world do we live in to, allow this and to accept it? No, we're fighting. We're going to fight back, and that's what it takes. You animal lovers, animal advocates, animal rights activists. Hey, I say it again: strong leaders and strong supporters equal goes into strong victories. You have a choice to use your voice. So don't be silent, because being silent is no solution to making changes, getting good positive changes made. Right, Marty? We have to keep it up,
We do.
not give up.
Absolutely. We do.
Yep. So, but just on my website, voicescareforanimals.com, I have, and you can subscribe free if you haven't already. I have all the bills listed on there, a link to congress.gov, explaining the bill and everything. And I'll send you one too, Marty. When after the show, you can also share it on my website. You can listen to the show after it gets downloaded from there. There's just so many, I what I do is sometimes I go back to listen to some and I pull up other tabs and go on, whatever I got to do on social media, and then, put the information and share it. Get it out there. If you sign petitions, I always see signed. Okay, put one foot in the right direction. Share. That gets more signatures coming in, and in the news feed. I've seen 10,000 signatures because I track them sometimes in a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
that
That's
amazing?
huge.
10,000. So uh, and I remember doing that on the PACT Act. Remember that one?
Right.
We
Yeah.
go,
That was signed
Marty and
into
I
law
go
in
way back.
2019. Yes. Yes. That was a huge bill. That
Yes,
was the first ever anti cruelty statute in American history that President Trump signed into law in 2019. And Debbie, you did so much work. All the listeners out there did, contacting their congressman. I think that bill probably had more support from the general public and members of Congress than any other bill we've ever worked on. It passed the House with no opposition and passed the Senate by unanimous consent as well.
wow. Yeah, and I remember how that got started. That she was 16 years old. Remember that? And
Sydney, yes, Sydney was her name. Yes,
that's it, Sydney. Because I got a hold of her father, and I was like, I got to get a hold. 16 years old, everyone got this bill started, and I haven't checked, but I think it was like over 800,000 signatures or something on
it
the.
was huge. It was
It
huge.
was humongous. And look what she did. I mean, she started it and got, a sponsor, and then here come co-sponsors, petition, the whole 9 yards. And look what happened in 2019 when President Trump signed it. And then you have a picture with President Trump, him signing it, and that was great. I said,
That
look at
was. I got to
this.
go in the Oval Office. It was a huge deal, and we really had a lot of fun. It was one of the most rewarding days of my life to actually be there and do that. But you're right. I think Sydney was like in her early teens and maybe in middle school or high school. She was somewhere out in Maryland, not far from here, that got that started.
That was amazing. And if you want to check it out, the Pack Deck, everyone, because I mean, look what, I mean, all the hard work she did, and everybody else too, including yourself. And I had a couple shows on it. And I remember she came on air. I think it was like 5 minutes or so. But I had to thank her, and say, "Dude, look what you started in your teens. So anybody could do that,
Yeah,
be a creator or author of a bill. Just ask your representative for a constituent bill proposal form. Have all your ducks in a row, you know, and see if they'll sponsor it, and then why you want this bill, and what would be good for the animals or whatever. Goes in a draft, gets approved, gets a bill number, and then you go for the co-sponsors, get a sponsor for the Senate side. And if it's federal, if it both passes, then it goes to the president to sign. And this was a federal bill, the PACT Act. That was so wonderful. Loved it. And if it's state, then you have the reps pass it, the Senate pass it, and then it goes right to the governor. So as a constituent in every state, you can be an author or creator of a new law to go into legislation. So give a big, a huge shout out to Sydney too. She see, you said 2019, so she's older now, but she's going to remember that for the rest of her life, and what a positive impact she was, right? Yep. And Darla says, I remember she was awesome. I remember too. So, but you ready to take some calls there, Marty? Does anybody want to speak to Marty? Any comments or questions? You are more than welcome. On the right hand, lower right hand corner, there's a phone icon or a mic icon, and just press it to alert me you want to come on air. And then just refrain from any noises in the background, TVs, radios, conversations. You're more than welcome to come on board. My Mama Cat, did you want to speak? I know she's out there roaming around
You
somewhere.
know I always want to speak.
Yeah, I know that. That's nothing new.
Especially
No,
after
not you.
especially after not having a phone for a whole dang week.
Oh, and I mean, you can't get on Facebook, right? And then,
You
because she
still
got
haven't.
hacked. Yep, she got hacked.
Yeah.
So, well, did you
I'm
call
just
your
saying.
phone provider?
Yeah, they don't know squaddly doop.
No?
No. I ended up finding a hack. What happened was my phone was literally locked and it kept saying I needed a passcode. Well, I have never in my life put a passcode on my phone because it's, first of all, it's a pain in the arse. And I don't have time to unlock it every time I want to use my phone. I don't go anywhere. It's not like somebody's going to steal my phone. So I have never put a pass lock on my phone. And I don't know what happened actually, but I couldn't get into my phone at all. So I found a hack online and it was actually for a different Samsung phone, but I was able to maneuver some buttons on my phone and get into a hard recovery app sort of thing. Anyways, I had to do a factory reset on my whole phone. So I lost everything, all my
Oh,
pictures,
no.
all my contacts. It was like a brand new phone from the store, nothing on it. Well, there was
Mm,
stuff on it, but nothing
mm.
how it is when you get your phone. So I spent the last 3 days reloading all my apps and dang, I had a lot of apps. I just didn't realize how many. And then you got to go and put all your passwords back in. It's just been a pain in the butt.
Oh,
But
oh,
I
no.
think I've got everything done and all new passwords on everything, and I have them written down. Um, and I haven't been able to get into Facebook yet. They said that there hasn't been anything posted on my pages except from my other account from Ray LaFond. So whatever is going on, they're not actually posting on my page. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. But whatever, it's life.
I wish the hackers would leave us alone. I was just active like a month ago on Facebook. Couldn't even change my password.
Yeah,
Somebody took over my Help Stop Elder Abuse group because I know I didn't approve these posts.
yeah.
So it's like, come on, and I got Norton security on my all phones, iPad, computer, everything. So I don't know what happened. I mean, I
I've
haven't
got
had any.
security too, but a lot of these apps like Facebook and Messenger, they're not near as secure as old Zuckerberg wants us to believe they are because I've been hacked. I don't even know how many times anymore. And I have never given my password to anybody. So how in the
Yep.
hell they're getting my Facebook password? There's only so many ways they can, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, I just,
Mm.
but everything I do goes through Facebook at some point or another, you know. So I'll get back in there.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
figure it out.
You will.
I even
All.
had that two-step authentication crap on Facebook, and they still were able to hack me out.
Mm.
So I don't know
You're
what
not the
good that
only
does.
one. It's just so aggravating. I've been through it one too many times, and it's on Facebook.
Every time,
Nowhere else.
Facebook. Yep.
Every time.
Yeah.
So I hope they get it together. So but good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
Try to stay strong. So
Just it's frustrating. It's more
yep.
nerve wracking, you know. And look, I'm 65 years old. My Facebook is public. If you want to see anything on my Facebook page, just go look. You don't need to hack me to find out my secrets. There's no secrets. It's all on there.
Right.
Like, give me a break.
They need to get a life.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
not going
flat
to
out.
find any Mama Cat secrets on my Facebook because, you know, they're not there.
Yep. They need to get a life. They wouldn't want it done to them, or would they? I don't think so. They just want to be a pain.
Well,
That's what it is.
I was able to get to something that said whoever got in there was from the UK. It did show
Wow.
me that much, but, you know, how the heck they did that, I really don't know, but, you know, whatever. So
Yep.
I wanted to say hi to Marty and tell him I've been watching him up on the hill.
Oh
Well, it's
yeah.
so great to talk to
Every.
you. I really appreciate all your support, Mama Cat, and you're always such a breath of fresh air here on the show too.
Ah,
Oh
thanks.
yeah. I'll tell you, she's got a heart of gold, Marty. I mean, all the cats in the colony she watches out after, and even in the cold and stuff, she keeps them warm. What, 90 of them right now, Mama Cat? That's why I call
Well,
her Mama Cat.
I was going to tell you, I pulled two more out of one of my colonies just yesterday. So we've got them at a foster home right now, getting them used to being in the house. They've never been in a house, you know. But when they come up to me and allow me to pick them up, literally pick them up, then it's time for them to come off the street. So I got two of them. Um, they're from the bee colony. All the names. I name all my colonies by alphabet, and then everybody in that colony has that letter for their name. So I got Bob and Barbara.
Bob and Barbara. Check
You
that out. and
know.
Marty, she had years ago, because she's been a former guest many times, and filled in when, there's an emergency. The guest had to, I can't thank you enough, Mama Cat, and a great supporter of this show. And she's, her heart is so full. I mean, her heart is so big. She at one time she had 125 of them. She multitasks and helps other
That's a
animals out.
lot.
That's the key. You know, and we'll work together. Hey, we'll help this animal out, and got a super team going on. I couldn't ask for a better super team. And appreciate them. And that's what it takes. We're working together, not against each other or nothing. I mean, it's like, hey, let's do this, or, communicating, and hey, this, pass this or whatever, because we're not all on social media at the same time and days. Nobody is. But when we do get together, hey, we take care of business, don't we, Mama Cat? We're
Right.
rocking and rolling.
You
Yep.
gotta.
You have to,
If we
you
don't,
know.
who's gonna, you know?
Yep. That's right.
It takes us and, you know, people like Marty that go up on the hill. I can't do that. You know, I'm here, I've got kids and grandkids and chickens and, you know, whatever. I'm not able to go to Washington D.C. and fight for this. So I know Marty carries all of our voices in his heart when he goes up there, and
Yes.
you're doing a
Yes.
great job. And I just want to say thank you so much.
No, well,
Yes.
thank you. I really
He
appreciate
does.
it. It's a lot of hard work. I say looking in the halls of Congress every day like the horses. I think about the horses So I'm always hoofing it, but I really appreciate all of your support and wonderful and kind comments too.
They've started roundups already this year.
I know it's, the wild
Ooh.
horses. I wish we could solve that one day, but the government is just, it doesn't matter what administration, whether it's Democrat or Republican, they all seem to be terrible on that issue.
Mm,
They're
it's
getting
not
bad
right.
advice. They should listen to us more.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
It's all the cattle. It's all because of cattle. And nobody will ever convince me any different. It's the land is for the cattle and the cattlemen, and you know
And they
that's
deserve better. I mean, I
well,
look at
yeah.
this HR 1661, everyone, the SAFE Act. It's already got, last time I looked was last week, 226 co-sponsors,
Oh,
but
that's good.
only four sponsors on the Senate side.
Oh,
So, and they're in session right now, right, Marty? They're in session and they
They
can
are, yeah.
vote.
They were the House and the Senate both this week. The House kind of is winding things up in the Senate too. But next week, just the Senate will be in session.
Okay. Yeah, but see, that's a lot of co-sponsors. 226. That's a lot,
that's who we got to get calling is the senators.
right? Because last time I looked, it was only four, and that's nothing.
That's
Just like
nothing.
the
Yeah.
Wild Horse and Burro Protection Act. That's the to the helicopters getting chased by helicopters,
And
and that hardly.
how many
Whoa!
sponsors do we need in the Senate?
I heard that we have to have like a total of what 290
Well,
to
that's
get
the
a four
House.
vote.
That's the House.
Okay,
The
that's a
House.
house.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the Senate, it's not really based on co-sponsors. That helps show support. But we need a really good 40 or 50 to get movement on that thing in the Senate.
Oh
Wow.
yeah.
We got
We
a lot of
all.
work to do there.
Oh yeah. And that's been going on for many, many years. Because I remember having shows back when I first got on TS Radio Network. um,
Yeah.
yeah. So we got to.
And there's only 100 of them, so we should be able to make more calls to them. But it just seems it's harder to get on the Senate side, in my opinion.
Yes, it is. It's much harder. The Senate is always difficult on everything, no matter what. So it's not just that, but the way the government was designed, they always said it's the cooling off place. The House is sort of closer to the people and more of a boiling pot, and that's the cooling off place. But the Senate's gotten to be ice cold these past couple of decades.
Yeah, it has. I agree. Need to put some fire under their ass
Yeah,
butts.
they need a little more
Yep.
compassion over there in the U.S. Senate. They don't have enough compassion.
Right. And if they have passion, it sure isn't for the animals at this point.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what we need more compassion. Think about them
Well, and
because.
I know they've got a
Oh,
lot on their plate and all that, but this is part of their plate, listening to the people, what we want, what we need. And
that's
so
right.
I just hope they put their listening ears on. Too bad they're not listening to your show, Daddy.
Right. Exactly. Hey, send them a link, right?
Absolutely. Every email, put a link.
Hey, so listen to these shows,
That's a great idea.
Yeah, because you
I'm gonna
can get
do
their
that.
get your email, they get their email address and send it to them.
I'm gonna do that. That's
Because
a great idea.
that's really letting us hear our voices, and
Yeah.
to make find some compassion, some kindness, some justice here,
Well,
freedom for them.
I'm not there to scream at them or anything. We just
No,
need our voices heard,
yep,
And I don't, sometimes it just doesn't feel like they're listening. And if they're not going to listen, the animals just don't stand a chance.
that's
They're,
right.
they're the line, We're at that door and we're knocking loud, and I'm hoping somebody's going to open that sucker up.
I hope so because we need more. We need more to step up to the plate and make them calls. You
So,
know,
what are
they
the biggest bills that you're pushing right now, Marty?
Well, really, the Fight Act is the biggest thing. The main two things are getting the Fight Act passed and trying to stop the Save Our Bacon Act. That's the primary focus. Since I opened my lobbying firm, I do some other work in other areas too now, too, related to autism and even aviation and transportation. So those are the only two big animal issues I'm working on. But I do think this Greyhound Protection Act is going to get done. It's really important. I haven't been working on it lately, but did work on it back at Animal Wellness Action, and it's kind of closing out an era. So I think it's a good sign that we're making big changes in the country, and then that's going to spread around the world because greyhound racing is still very prominent in the UK and in other countries as well.
Right, we had two of them here in Colorado, and they were both shut down long ago.
that's a huge plus, isn't it? I mean, two left. This is wow.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yes, I mean big accomplishments,
Yeah.
big victories. Two more.
And what was it, West Virginia or South? Or who
It's
still
West
has it?
Virginia. West
West
Virginia
Virginia.
still has the
Okay.
last two tracks. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, two more. Hey, we could that could be done. You
Make
know,
them calls.
that's
Write them
right.
letters.
Emails and everything. You know, let your voice be heard. Don't be
Yep.
silent. Don't be silent.
Silence
Yes.
don't help.
Yeah, Aloha, did you want to speak to Marty? Go
Oh,
ahead.
am I on your?
Yes, you're live and on the air.
Hold
Welcome
on.
aboard. I love you all your support.
Oh,
All of
hello.
you. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
have to plug in my headset.
Oh,
Oh,
I think we lost them.
hold on.
Oh, wait a minute, did I lose you?
Hold on. I have to put my headset in. Just putting my headset in. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, this app, everyone. If you come
Okay.
into
Hello.
chat room, yeah, go ahead.
Oh
You're live and
gosh.
on the air.
I don't think it's working. Oh,
I don't think
Yeah,
it's
it doesn't
working.
sound
oh,
like
there's
it.
feedback.
Oh,
I
No.
do have to hop
hello.
off in about three
Oh
minutes too,
gosh.
Debbie.
Oh.
Also, so
Well, I guess this will do.
We hear ya.
Okay, but okay. Well, yeah, it's just echoing though. I have my headset, but looks like I'll be calling Capito and Justice since I reside in West Virginia.
Yep,
yes,
make
yes,
them
both
calls.
senators very important to call.
Yeah.
Yep. Do it. And that number is
Yes.
202-224-3121. And just give your zip code and it'll lead you right to them. It's a nationwide number, everyone. And that's to speak to your state senator or state representative. You might not get through to them, but the legislative aid, you can give a message to them, or write them emails if you're more comfortable with emails. To ask them to, hey, let's get these Greyhound tracks out completely. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I remember with shows with remember the gas chambers and the animal shelters, they're
Yes.
all gone. They're all gone. Yes, and that was a major victory because those things are so cruel. I mean, I've seen videos you can't even finish watching them. They're so sickening. They didn't commit no crimes. Their only crime was they were born, and they can't go on that. But it's done. It's a done deal, and that's another victory. So let's see it. Yeah, well, please make them calls or emails.
Mm-hmm.
Tell your neighbors or your friends in the area, your family, to do the same. Yep.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
what is that?
What is
Oh,
that? I don't know. Something's picking up.
oh, well, something's
Yep.
picking up. I don't think it's.
Yeah, I think that's my brain going off.
Good thing Marty's timer, he said he had to go.
Yeah, Debbie, I hate I got to cut it short. Next time I'll know that it can go longer. I had just been used to that 1 hour on Blog Talk
Well,
Radio for so long, I didn't pay attention to that.
Hey, but next time, maybe we could go up to 2 hours. I've seen it happen.
Absolutely.
I said it at two, 2 hours, and hey, whatever time we need. But I can't thank you enough for coming back on air. I hope you another great show, Marty, and keep it up. You're a true inspiration to humans and animals. And
Well, thank you, Debbie. You are too, both of you, Mama Cat and Debbie, and all the folks out there. We really appreciate you, and the animals appreciate you tremendous.
Thanks, Marty.
yeah,
I'll be
thank
following
Thank
you.
you,
you.
Marty.
Thank you, Marty, and have a peaceful and relaxing evening that you so well deserve. Keep it up.
You too. Y'all have a great evening. Goodbye.
And I'll send you as soon as I get it published. I'll send you the new link to what's out there on the promos now. They can still go to it, okay, and listen to the show afterwards. But once I get the links in there, it'll be a new link with all a new episode with all the links in there.
That sounds good. I'll be on the
So
lookout and be ready to share it all around social media too.
awesome. That hey, it takes teamwork all the way. That's hey, that's what we're all for. Let's see. We got goals and we got achievements to make,
All right.
accomplishments. Right?
Absolutely. Y'all have a great evening.
Have a good
It's been
evening,
great,
Marty.
Marty. It's been great.
All
Love
righty.
it.
Bye.
Bye bye now. Okay, Mama Cat and Aloha, you there still there? We'll run another 15 minutes. So
Oh,
if you want to
I'm
bring up
still here.
anything, that you want to bring up on air, any concerns or any petitions or anything that you have to say on air to the listeners out there, and to everyone at on Podbean Podcast Web. And thank you all for tuning in. And if you, like I said, if you want to join us in the chat room, you're more than welcome to come over here. You just have to do a couple simple steps. Um, Download there if you have the Google Play or App Store, if you have it installed. And all you got to do is press which one you have installed and search for Voices Care for Animals podcast, and then press follow, and then you're in on the app. And then every Thursday, you will get notified there's this live cast coming up. Press to join, and you'll enter the chat room. This thing is awesome, isn't it, Mama Cat and Aloha? I love it.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
you could
I love
share the
Bob too.
show for right from here, right from the chat room. You get, and as soon as I get the episode published, it will alert you on your phone, your laptop, your iPad, tablet that episode has been published, and you can go back and listen and share 24/7 on demand episodes. Also on the web, you could do the same. So once it gets published, it's going to be out there. Okay, you can't
Mhm.
listen to it from these other podcast websites yet until I get it published. They won't
Right.
go live from there. So, but you can share them. I mean, podserve.fm, Animal Advocates Radio, Podbean, Voices Care for Animals podcast. You can set yourself on a free account on there and follow Voices Care for Animals. And there's um, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast. You used to see this list,
Does it
you
go on
know,
Rumble?
where
Rumble?
Rumble.
Rumble. I don't think so. I can check, but there's like 28 of them. You
Okay.
know, some of
Yeah.
them I can't even get them memorized yet. Player.fm, goodpods.com. I mean, there's such a big list. Podcast Addict. So
Well, I
because
know it
once
shows up on the Samsung podcast app as well. So,
it does.
yeah, I got a notification from them last week.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That's a good one.
Yep.
That is
Yeah, because
great.
that goes with anybody that has a Samsung phone. I believe that comes on,
Mm.
with the phone, with the free apps that are on the phone when you get it.
Yeah, and it's on there.
Yep.
That's amazing. That's totally amazing. But hey, when it's getting out there, because once it hits Podbean, once I publish on Podbean, then it's going to go to podserve.fm. Then it's going to shoot out to the YouTube channels I got. Be a subscriber on there. I don't have all of them on there. because when I had it transferred from Blog Talk, I didn't want to put all these shows on YouTube, from Blog Talk, TS Radio Network, and Marty shows. When I went to found podchaser.com, there's another one. And what's the good part is that all these shows are on each one of them,
Yep.
so you can follow and everything. And I was like, check this out. So it is getting out there, everyone. And
It
the
is.
downloads is on. I looked on podserve.fm. We're hitting a lot of downloads, and that's after the fact. Okay, that's after the show has been published, where people go and listen to it, during the week or whenever, anytime. So that adds up downloads. So that's another plus, and you can share them right from there. So, and what's good is Podbean gives, with the cost I'm paying, I get a free host website that I decorated, and put Marty on there, TS Radio Net, rest in peace, and because he's the grassroots of voices carried for animals. And and April 1st, I'm going to be having a show on a Wednesday night, everyone, for a tribute to Marty Oakley. Okay,
Looking forward
Oh,
um,
to it.
yeah,
yeah.
so I'm getting with her host that's still running her shows, and they're coming on as guests on that Wednesday. So I'll be still having my show on Thursday, but we're giving her a tribute, okay? Because it's going to be 3 years already, on April 1st that she passed away, and may she rest in peace. Gone, but will never be forgotten. All the shows she had. I mean, she was doing so many shows from every angle. She was I always called her Smart Mart because she did a lot of research, not just saying it out of the top of her head. She was
Hmm.
giving some facts out the way, open her eyes up. And I did back then, 2014 and 2015. I was co-hosting with her on against elder abuse. Okay, started up a group on Facebook that her and I, was together, and she passed away, and I almost shut it down. I said, nope, I'm going to keep it, because this is the worst statistics out there, pretty much. Over 5 million elderly a year, okay? And that's not what's included that wasn't reported. Get abused, neglected, or exploited a year. And that's from the National Center on Elder Abuse. Tell me that's not disgusting. I mean, whoa.
Very disgusting.
And
Yeah.
so and our ages don't stop here, okay? We're going to have them birthdays every year, and these elderly were once our ages. And some of them, and they're innocent, helpless, defenseless, and voiceless. So if you want to ask to join Help Stop Elder Abuse support group on Facebook. So these stories of what's going on, these, I mean, horrific with family members or this, that, nursing homes, it will churn your stomach, okay?
Yeah.
And I can't do nothing about it. We have to get with our representatives and get some laws created, stiffer laws and harsher penalties. So but it's mind blowing. And I'm going to keep this group. There's only about 5,100 members, but they're not active. Okay, they're in there, but
Yeah.
they need our voices too because that's totally unacceptable to hear that. And I've been seeing that every year. Okay, when is that going to come way down or something? Because if you add that up times per year, times 10 years, this is way up there, and they don't deserve that. We're supposed to treat our elders with dignity and respect. Respect our elders, everyone, you know.
Makes it
So,
scary. We're coming up on them ages.
yep, it is. And Darla said, hey, or Mama Cat, it is rampant. And the stories I see going through newsfeed will make you sick, okay? What's going on? And I'm not making it up. It's coming through LinkedIn. It's coming through Facebook and X. And I was like, whoa, we got to get some control here. There is, it seems like I've told them, I said, does anybody care? Because the seem don't seem, don't seem like it. Why is
Well,
this
I
still going on?
notice when you speak up for those who are defenseless,
Yep.
be it animals or elders, and you're at the Senate, which I have to agree with Mama Cat. So it's as if you're doing a what do you call that test? Like American Idol. It's like you're doing a I can't think of the word, but an audition. It's like you're auditioning for American Idol, and they're not taking you seriously. You understand
Yeah,
what
yeah. You was cutting out there a little bit.
okay, no, I'm saying that when you try to get your point
Yeah,
across
yeah.
and you're in the Senate and you speak for animals, it's as if you were doing an audition for a talent show rather than them taking you seriously. The
Yeah,
Senate does.
we have to do something because this is just going to continue. Get worse. Here in approximately 5 million elderly get abused, neglected, or
Mm,
exploited a year, and that's not what's called not reported. This is what's reported. National Center on Elder Abuse.
And a
So,
lot of those old people don't report it because they can't.
yeah.
right, they're scared of their abuser.
Well,
Okay.
that's who's taking care of them,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know?
That's happening so much that they're afraid to say anything or do anything. You
And they
know,
won't allow these nanny cams in the rooms,
they
which I
need
think is
to.
totally ridiculous. Oh, but what about their privacy? Well, look, I'm not looking at their hoo ha. I'm looking to see who the hell's beating the shit out of them.
That's,
Exactly.
You
yep,
know,
Exactly.
that's right.
I'm not
Because
asking for it to be in the bathroom.
I don't know if you've seen that video. I'll send it to you. It's one man with one leg. You should see this video. I mean, it was from 3 years ago, but it's like, is this for real? I'll send it. I posted it on my timeline. I think it was last week,
Mm,
but it is totally uncalled for. Then they shut the curtains. You never know what goes on behind closed doors. We
Yeah.
only wish we could. Okay,
And
we
that's
can't.
what I say. Why don't they want cameras in them rooms?
Yep.
You
Hey,
know, there's a reason. It's not privacy. That's bullshit.
yep.
You
I
know?
know.
oh,
Hey,
it's
if you're
also
not
worse,
hiding nothing, there's nothing to worry about.
and it's
That's
even
it.
worse if you have large families because also inheritance becomes an issue as to who takes care of the family member. And 9 times out of 10, it's always the money. No one actually sincerely cared for the family member, the elder family member.
I mean, I know there's good and bad nursing homes out there. I'm not saying
Oh
all of
yes.
them. You know what I
Oh
mean?
no, I just meant, but
So,
the family member particularly.
but
I'm referring to the
but they
family
need
members.
to
Yeah.
they need to bring the bad up to the good. It can be done. There's no
Hmm.
sense in it.
Yeah.
I
I
always
mean,
try to tell people when you have to put your loved one into a senior home or a mental home or Alzheimer's home, go there. And if they tell
yep,
you that visiting hours are from 1 to 3 and 4 to 7, tell them I want to come whenever I want to come. And if they tell
Exactly.
you no, there's a reason they tell you no. It's because the rest of the time those people are doped up, pushed out into the hallway in a wheelchair if they get a wheelchair, and they're unsupervised. They don't, it's
sickening.
ridiculous what they do to these people.
Mm.
Isn't that
You
terrible?
know, I, I took
There's
care
no
of an
excuse for
Alzheimer's
it.
patient, and it took me months and months of going to all these old folks' homes, nursing homes, whatever you want to call them, before I found one that said, "Oh no, you are welcome any time of the day or night. Here's the code to the door. Here's the code to the gate. We just, make sure that everything's shut up when you leave." Um, and I was comfortable with that, and I took advantage of it. I went at 2 o'clock in the morning, not all the time, but periodically, and I wanted to see what was going on. And he was very well taken care of there. So there are good places out there. These places that house them like cattle, they're not there for the patient, they're there for the money,
Exactly.
Bingo.
you
Yep,
know?
right there. Profit before care, and that's a no-no.
It's
That.
warehousing our old people.
Mm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be the golden years, not the golden nightmares. It's
Exactly.
totally uncool, right? Think about it, because a lot of them
Yeah.
are going. I'm seeing these members in this group telling these stories. Like, what is going on? What? I seen that video, just the man with the one leg, and he was on the ground, and I mean, and hitting them, and what is happening
Yeah.
here? What
You know, and
excuse? Then they
and
closed the curtain for 15 minutes or for 20
yeah,
minutes. And
and
was like, whoa.
I wanted to keep Paul out of the nursing home, and I kept him home as long as I possibly could until he was a danger to himself and others. When I get a phone
Yep.
call, I'm at work, and he told me that he wanted to know if I knew where some matches were. And I told him, what do you need matches for, Paul? Oh, well, I just thought I'd start a fire and sit in front of the fire and wait for you to get home. And I'm thinking to myself, Self, we don't have a fireplace.
Mm.
What the hell? I told him, I'll tell you what, Paul, I'm leaving here in 5 minutes. Hold off on the fireplace until I get there, and we'll both have a hot chocolate and sit in front of the fireplace. When I got there, he had paper. There was a picture of a fireplace on the wall, and he had paper and little branches from the backyard that he broke up and stuck on the pile of newspaper. And he was going to start a fire on the floor under
Mm.
that picture right next to where the curtains hung down for the back door.
Whoa.
He would have been dead before I even got there.
Exactly. Oh my
And
goodness.
My
and
goodness.
that was it. I couldn't keep
Mm.
I mean I had to work, and I couldn't keep him safe. And that's when I went looking for somewhere for him to go.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
felt bad having to do that, but I mean I couldn't be with him 24/7, It was just me and my kid,
Right.
so
Mm.
yeah, it was rough. But I
Mm.
was lucky I found that place. It was Colorado Springs Senior Homes. Wonderful, wonderful place. I loved them. They took very good care of him. So he was
See, they're
fortunate
good
that,
ones.
there are. You just got to look for them.
You have to do your homework, okay? Check them out
No
and
time
see what's
limit.
going on,
There just
you
can't
know?
be a time limit.
Because
When
if
they
it
tell you,
goes,
oh, you can't come between only this time. Well, it doesn't take a whole lot of brain power to figure out that everybody's going to be just fine during them hours. It's the ones
yep,
in between there I want to know about.
that's right. You never know what goes on behind the scenes or closed doors. We have no clue,
Yeah,
right? All
it's
right,
just
ladies, I'm going to close it down here, okay? And
Mhm.
Mama Cat, I always appreciate all your support, and Aloha and
Thank
Darla and
you so much.
Michelle, all of you, okay? And my mother's listening. Moose, you gonna
I
say hi to
move,
Moose here?
move, move.
Aloha,
Pat Dahmer,
Moose.
we'll give her a shout out. And George is listening, right? Hey, George. That's Mama Cat's hubby. but but he's probably got big. But tell Skylar I said hello too in the alley, her
Skylar
grandkids.
went to work. Skylar went to work with his dad,
Oh
so
yeah.
he's not here. So, but
Okay, well, tell them I said
they,
hello. Okay, and Allie and everything. They were guests one time. This was years ago, but they got on the radio with their grandma. They did good. I mean, Skyler was answering questions. The calls were coming in. I'll never forget that. And he was what? How old was he? Like 12.
I think he was 11 or 12. Yeah.
Yep. That was great. But anyway, I want to thank all of you for all your continuous support. It means a lot. It keeps me going, keeps me uplifted and strong and I won't give up. I'm relentless, okay? But all of you out there that's tuning in, thank you so much. And keep coming back. That's what we're here for. We want to, bring it out in the spotlight. Deb is on the web, all right? and and we're Deb is on the web.
She's on the web.
They say, "Hey, blame it on society. We are society. We
We
can't do
are it.
something." Okay,
Hey,
never look
Deb,
the other way
you
because
need to
that's
send me Buford's picture again because I lost all my pictures on my phone.
oh,
Sorry to hear
that's
that.
right.
Send it
Yes,
to
I'm
me in a
sorry to
text
hear.
message.
I will, because I have him. We'll change his name to Big Buford.
Big Bad Buford. Yippee.
But I hope everyone joins us next week. We got Stacy Lee Sherwood coming on. She was on my show back on Blog Talk Radio. She's an investigative writer with a podcast and rescues animals. Okay, we're going to be talking about the FWC lawsuits with the black bears and the manatees here in
Oh,
Florida. So it'll be a good show. Okay.
that's a
Looking
new
Um,
forward to it.
one.
yeah, so at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Mountain, and 4 o'clock Pacific. And listen in worldwide, everyone. So I want to welcome her back. All these shows are recorded live and archived on demand episodes. So once all the followers that's following me, a big thank you to all of you for following me. I'm going to work on 100,000 followers, okay?
All
Sometime
right.
between now and 2050. This is wishful thinking, okay? But
Set
I
your
need
goals
all your
high,
help. Dream on.
Debbie. That's funny.
But anyway, hope everybody has a peaceful and relaxing evening. And keep coming back. Keep sharing these shows, pressing the like. We are a super team going on, and let's see the changes keep happening. Okay, share, share, share for the Mama Bear. Okay, because Mama Bear is on there because she really does care. And
How
I'm
many
not.
points do you need to level up to your next level?
I got to look into that because remember the newbie level, the
Yep.
newbie. Okay, now I'm on the novice, the third one. I got to look more into that because their system or how they do things. So I think with the reactions, like the likes and all that, the comments and all, it'll make it move up. But I'm going to double check on that and see because the next one's a level three. Because I had to start at level one, a newbie, and I've been on the radio
Yeah.
for 10.5 years.
Well,
Before that,
you almost got 10,000 hearts on there. So,
that's great. I like that, because I
yeah,
think that will help me move up the ladder if them
I
things
think
come
so.
coming
Yeah.
in. I
Yeah.
do because I'm trying to figure it out and guess and assume, but I need to look into it because it looks like it. So keep pressing the like and the comments, and sharing the show. I think all this adds up, because there's a lot of podcasts on Podbean. I mean, big names, So if you want to listen to any other shows, just search animals or, animal welfare because they're on there and follow them because you're already following me. So you'll get alerted when they come on there. I know Animal Wellness Action has a podcast, and remember Deborah Hamilton, Why Do Pets Matter? She's on
Yep.
there. I
Oh,
want to
shit.
get her back on here because she's really
Yep.
good too. She interviewed me, and remember that one?
You could.
But I'll send Buford in there and everything. Darling, you have a good night too because you're a great team player. I love this big great team. It's been going on for a long time, and working together. That's what it takes, teamwork. But anyway, Mama Cat, you ready to rock and roll there? Hold on
I'm
one
ready,
second.
but paw
Yeah,
in hand, united we stand against all animal cruelty and neglect across the land. Good night, everybody. God bless, and make them phone calls.
that's right. That's what it takes, there, Mama Cat. And I want to thank all of you because with all of us working together as a team, we could do it. It doesn't take that much. It's not that difficult. We have to work together and stay together and stand up for what's right because that's what it takes. right?
Let's get it fixed in 26.
That's it. Let's fix the problems in of the animal product in 2026, because that's where it's at. We could do it.
We can.
I know we can do it. So you never say never. You got to be relentless, optimistic, and proactive, and make the victories happen. And then you're going to be saying, "Wow, this just passed, and the changes for the animals or wherever." And then you're going to keep going. You're not going to stop there,
And
right?
follow Marty because on X and Instagram because he really posts a lot of stuff.
Yes, he does. Yes, Marty Irby, or MartyIrby.
I'll
You
look
know,
under Instagram.
yeah, and because he said he's on Instagram more than any of them,
Right.
right?
He
I'm not
Oh,
likes
on
no
to
wonder.
Instagram.
Oh, I see. I
Yep.
tried to send him a Facebook friend request.
Yep. But I'm glad we got about the elder abuse. It needs to be out there too. And I'm an
yeah.
elder abuse advocate. So I kind of did a 360 to bring in more animal up because there's a lot of mutual friends in there from my friends list. And I can thank all of you enough, to come jumping over multitasking. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and hope you will be coming next week. FW, we're going to be talking about FWC lawsuits against the black bears, and here in Florida, and also the manatees. The manatees are so adorable too, aren't
They
they?
are. Oh my God.
Oh, they are. So we have to stand up for them because if not, they don't have a fighting chance. Okay. But good night, everyone. May God bless you all. Bye bye.
Good night,
Good
Jack.
night.
Good
Good night,
night.
Aloha.
Mama Bear hugs.
Good night, Jack.
Night, everyone. With our voices, the animals will be heard. With our actions, the animals will seek justice. Good night, everyone. And I hope everyone joins us next week.
I'll be there.
Night,
Be
Mama
there.
Cat.
Good
Meow.
night. Bye-bye.
Night, aloha, night, everyone. Thank you for all your continuing support.